All right. Brew some coffee, pour a cup. It's time for some more coffee talk.
It's BASCHAMANIA! Let me tell you something, brother. He gave us everything he had in him tonight. What you gonna do when BASCHAMANIA runs wild on you? Oh, it's gonna be a good one. And business just picked up here on the podcast. Oh, yeah.
And is your volume up? Because we're getting like DM.
Hold on. I'm going to turn it up a little bit louder. So, to start off, how's that?
It sounds good to me, but it never, I don't know. It never sounds quiet to me. I don't know if it's because I talk louder or what.
You sound quiet to me now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't turn something down, did you?
Wait, hold on. What the heck did I do? All right. I think we're good to go.
We're good now?
Yeah. So I wanna start off real quick talking about this hoodie I'm wearing.
All right, let's hear about it.
So my buddy Tyler Reinhart, he's a national champ at Pitt Johnstown actually a few years ago.
Okay.
Started a clothing brand, Unseen Dreams.
Looks pretty sweet.
Quality. I love it.
It was, to be honest, like when you hopped in, it was the first thing I noticed. I'm like, that's a sick hoodie.
Yeah, no, it's sick.
The hood looks comfortable. It looks really nice.
It's great. I posted on, and it's quality stuff. He's all about quality too. So
yeah.
I posted on my Instagram. So if anyone's interested, like go look at it. Like I highly recommend it.
And if you're not watching this on Rockfin to look at it, go to rockfin.com/BASCHAMANIA.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I
see what it looks like.
That.
Yeah, you guys should definitely be watching on Rockfin if you're not. So we've got a couple of guests. I'm kind of holding them off because these brackets, like I'm not a seed guy. And I know you're not like a seed analysis guy, but there's some obvious
they suck. They suck.
Yeah, like there's just and there's like instantly some good matches. The seeds, like I can say the seeds suck. I'm not the guy to tell you like why. Like Willie just went on a rant for an hour. It was great. It was hilarious. Like if you want the technical analysis,
Willie's your guy for that.
Willie's the guy.
We're gonna be strictly just like, here's my opinion. And this,
25 is pretty like it's pretty black and white. Like Robbie Howard, not the best draw. Heisman from Ohio State.
No, yeah,
first round.
Yeah, so that was interesting to me. I don't know, man. Like, why are we keeping all the Big Ten guys together? Like that's
and it gets worse at 49 with
49 was bad.
Like, if Lovett wins, he's got Max Murrin. Actually, he's guaranteed a Big Ten guy, but he's got Max Murrin right after. Like it's nuts.
Well, we'll just see Rage Lovett do Rage Lovett stuff, and
you gotta love it.
Gotta love it. I mean, I don't know. I thought 65. I mean, did you see the top of 65?
Yeah, that is just
Shane Griffith at the 8. And I mean, my favorite one is Andrew Alvarez in a pigtail into Sasso.
That to me is ludicrous.
That's my favorite one. I mean, it is very, I will say, short season, everything like that.
But it's very clear that there was no Matrix this year. It's very clear that it was like human interaction. Let's separate Gable and Mason. They're the 1 and the 2. The Lee Rivera Ironman at 41. Let's separate them. But then with some of these, it's like, okay, Andrew Illyria's had a short season. He's also the senior nationals champion at 65 kilos.
Right.
Like, I don't know. It's kind of, at least not, I'm not saying give him like a 5 seed, but for him to be in a pigtail and to come out of that with Sammy Sasso, the 1 seed is just nuts.
Tougher, really, both of those guys.
Correct. Even for Sasso, like that's
like either way you look at it. Like if you're Sasso,
Yeah, 41. I was glad to see. 41.
And hold on to go on that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna gonna butcher this kid's last name, but that PJ kid from Army, 49 also. He's the 16. He's very good too. He's 9-0, but like he's looked really good this year. And if he can get through that first round match, whoever he ends up getting there, that's gonna be a good matchup also. So like there's just
Sasso's got a brutal draw overall.
He does, but he's really good, and I'm not gonna doubt Sasso really.
I was cracking up on Willie's show. He just said Sammy Sasso already took top.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he did. He already did it.
That's already he already took top. He called the ref.
All right. So
41. What are your thoughts? I mean, it looks like
I think they did it. I think they did the top guys correctly.
Yeah. So, it looks like Ironman, if he makes it to the semis, he's going to have, if they make it, Tariq Wilson or Chad Red.
Chad Red would be a quarter.
Chad Red
Dom
would be
Demas.
a quarter. Sorry. Yeah.
Chad would be a quarter. Dom Demas is super dangerous, but we have potential Real Woods, Dom Demas second round match.
Yeah. And that's just fire. Even the first round. That kid Grant Wiltis from Oregon State is kid who just beat him.
Who just beat him? Yeah.
In the Pac-12 finals last
So
week.
what am I even talking about? Let's get through round one first, guys.
But I was just telling my wife because like she's new to I don't print anything and I printed out the brackets. She's like, "Holy crap, this is serious."
Yeah, yeah,
but
we're getting into it.
I'm saying like you talk hypotheticals. Obviously, there's going to be bracket busters and there's going to be the Cinderella stories. But you talk as if the seeds hold what the matchup could potentially be.
So at 184, Britt Wilson from NIU is the 7th seed, and Taylor Benz is the 8th.
I don't understand. Like,
no disrespect to Britt Wilson whatsoever, but I don't know who that is. And I'm not saying that like he's not good because I don't know him, but
also shouldn't Hunter Bolin, like that's a terrible seed too.
That's a bad seed for Hunter Bolin too.
Bolin should have been the 4.
But the UNI kid at 4 is undefeated, and he had a good tournament also.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not the seed guy. I just look at it like Bolin to wrestle Brands in the round of 16, and then have the kid, Parker from UNI like that, and then Brooks Vance, a Big Ten final rematch potential in the quarters.
In the quarters, I think that's so stupid. How do you put the Big Ten finalists in the same quarterfinal at the same weight?
And again, you did good at 141.
Right.
How do you screw up so bad at another weight?
It's just inconsistent. That's really it. What was my thoughts on 74? Oh, yeah. I thought Mikey Labriola at the 4. I thought maybe they could have bumped Carter down to 2, Mikey to 3, and put Romero at 4 up top with Kemmer.
Yeah, that's another thing that just doesn't make sense. Like, I get he's a conference champ. I get he's
undefeated. I get it also.
But if you're looking at the Big Ten and you're looking at field of competition, which it looks like in other weights, again, 41 and others, you're putting that into account. Then what are you doing here? It just doesn't make too much sense.
Yeah, I mean.
And they separated Gable and Paris, which is good. Which, by the way, I just tweeted out, like, Gable could potentially have Kirk in the quarters, have Colton Schultz or Cassiope in the semis, and Paris in the finals. If he walks,
that's a tough heavyweight bracket.
Yeah, and the point of my tweet was if he walks through that like he's been doing at that weight, Hodge isn't even like a conversation.
No, and like Spencer can pin his way through too, and I don't know. It's like if Spencer can pin his way through the national tournament and not get a Hodge Trophy, which is absolutely insane.
It's ludicrous.
It's
no
insane.
Disrespect to Spencer.
It's insane, but like with the season Gable's had and just what he's been doing, it's difficult to not put him as the front runner going into
and he hasn't had one yet. I think you said that last week.
Yeah, and Spencer won it last year.
Spencer has one. So our first guest is in the waiting room. He's ready.
I freaking love it. Let's go.
Perfect segue.
The
segue doesn't get much better.
Wow.
Look at him in the flesh.
Ridge, how you doing, man? Wow. So, Ridge, that throw you hit on Murin, right away, he's charging at you. Any thoughts, or is it just go time? We're letting it rip.
It was just go time. That was just straight reaction.
See, that's for me. Whenever I find myself in those situations, I think just the let it rip reaction always works out the best. That was just, my first thought that popped in my head. But how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. We've been in Lincoln for a couple days. We had individuals today, so we got right back to it.
I got a question for you about Lincoln. The Burrows are good friends of mine. I texted Lauren that you were coming on the podcast today, and she said he's a character. You're going to love him. Ask him about the time him and Kayvon Davenport came over to babysit and were 15 minutes late.
Yeah. Me and Kevon, they were going on like a date night, and they asked Kevon, they're like, "Hey, do you want to come over and babysit?" And he was like, "Yeah, can Rich come?" For sure. we were a little late, but everything was okay. All turned out all right.
Rich come. I love that. So we were talking this weekend. We were talking like Friday, Saturday, like, hey, we should definitely have someone on from the Big Ten tournament this weekend, maybe a champ, somebody who's really exciting. And we were talking, I think Cenzo texted me like Sunday morning. Or no, Saturday afternoon. It was before the semis. You're like, Rich needs to come on. You were so electric.
Got you, bro.
Yeah.
Sure.
You were so just on. And today I was kind of looking back at your Big Ten tournament last year, which wasn't bad either. I think you had like a 1-0 loss to DeSanto. Like you're constantly right there. And now, I mean, you only lost to Sasso like 5-2, was it? So like you're like right there, but you just keep jumping levels.
Yeah, this year I didn't have the same weight cut that I had last year. Last year's weight cut was pretty intense, but this year came in. I was good on weight. Like I made scratch day 2. Like I was fine. So I was really just wrestling, and I don't know. I feel like it worked out better this year for sure.
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so you prefer to wrestle like closer to weight than to, because some people like that weight cut. Some people they kind of need that.
Yeah, no, I never really cut a whole bunch of weight before. I did like my sophomore year. I had a pretty good weight cut of high school, but since then I've never really cut much weight until last year.
Gotcha.
What do you think? Did you do anything else different prepping for the Big Tens this year than last year? Like this, obviously this last year is absolutely wild. You didn't get NCAAs last year. Were you preparing differently aside from the weight cut for this year?
No, everything was the same, really.
Yeah.
Just kept everything the same. Just kept wrestling, just drilling our stuff, getting ready.
So I will say, your Murin match was awesome, but I was really impressed with your semifinal match. I thought you did a really good job being aggressive, but keeping your head, hands defense good and knowing where you're good at in positions. Was that kind of the plan, just to win it on the mat?
No, it kind of transitioned to that. He was a little awkward on our feet. I don't know, just something about his wrestling style was just a little off, and I didn't really feel like I could get to my offense that great. But I knew I wasn't going to get taken down. Right. So even when we were in overtime, I wasn't tripping about anything. I was fine. Yeah. I was like, if it goes to right house, it goes to right house.
Yeah. No need to trip over that, man. Do the tripping another time. But yeah, I was impressed with that. Random question. One guy on your team you're really excited for nationals, not you.
CJ.
Yeah,
it's March.
Yeah.
It's March, and he goes crazy in March. So I'm all for it. The brackets just came out. I think he was in the same quarter as Ireland.
He's at the 8.
I'm excited.
You have an interesting seat too.
Do you look at your bracket, or are you one of those guys that just like, I don't want to know, like
Cenzo? He doesn't know till the next round.
No, I have an idea, but like if it was like a dual meet, then like I'd be like, I'd come in on Monday, and then my coach would be like, hey, we got Nebraska Friday, and I'm like, all right, cool, sounds good. But
yeah, no, I looked. I know where I'm at. I got Omania, and then winner of Rooks, Murin. So hopefully that one's another fun one if he makes it. But nah, I'm not worried about any of it. I'm ready to go.
For sure.
I got a question for you. We constantly, the last month on this podcast, talk about folk style versus freestyle. You're obviously in the height of college season right now, but you also wrestle Greco. You won a national championship in Greco at Fargo. How do you rank folk style, freestyle, Greco?
I don't know. I like freestyle and Greco, but I think I'm best at folk style, and I like to win, so I like folk style a lot too. But I don't know. I don't really have a preferred style. I'll wrestle any of them.
Yeah, and like what we talk about too is just like in folk style wrestling, you have to be kind of more complete, right? You got to be able to do it on the mat too, and like that's just another element of it, which it's different, but like we were talking about last time, could get if two guys are just laying on each other, it could get a little.
But like, look at how exciting like his semifinal match.
Exactly.
Like it came down to a ride out, and that was as exciting as it gets.
Right. I won one match. I'm freaking into it, So I don't know. That's just me though. I like wrestling, but yeah.
I'm curious too. I believe I read that you were 169-0 in high school, which is just stupid. What was the transition like from you from high school being undefeated to college, where the talent pool? It's always interesting watching people go from high school to college and then from college to the senior level and watching those different levels of talent. What was that transition like for you?
It was a little abrupt at first. I got cement mixtured by CJ the first day of practice. That was awesome.
He's good at that.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. It was so fast, so hard. I'm like, dang, we in it now. Like, it's for real. Everybody you wrestled in the room was tough.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was a pretty quick transition, I feel. We pulled my red shirt, and I lost that first match. But I think I lost my first match. I don't remember.
I think it was Northern Iowa.
You remember better than he does.
I have it pulled up.
Okay,
I'm staring at it.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. But then after that, I was like, like the loss is out of the way. Don't have to worry about the record anymore. There's a lot of pressure from that in high school. Then once that was out of the way, it was really just letting it fly in college.
How serious did you take yourself in high school? Because I know in college, like I literally just sent Cenzo this video before. Hold on, let me play it. Like it's hard not to be a fan of somebody who has that much fun and is smiling.
I threw this one up too. I was like, that's funny as hell. Yeah.
Like I love it. Like, but high school wrestlers at large take themselves way too seriously. You seem to have fun in college. Did you have fun in high school too?
Oh yeah, our team had a bunch of fun. We weren't doing a whole lot of like celebrations really, like on the mat. That's kind of new. Yeah. So I'm just kind of testing them out, see what celebrations.
Dude, have fun with it, man. Have fun with it. Yeah.
For sure. It's a good time out there. Just like you just won, you do this is what I do. It's what I've done all my life. I might as well just have more.
Who are you looking for in that video?
My mom.
My wife asked me who he was looking for, and I said, I'm like, it's got to be his mom because there's no fans. It's like just family. I'm like, 100% got to be his mom.
My dad stayed home, so my mom, my grandpa came out to this one. So I was waving to them up in the stands. They came out from Idaho.
They probably love Central Pennsylvania.
They thought it was okay. I didn't even get to talk to them. They wouldn't let us like see our family when we were up there. They had it blocked off. So I was like, how do you get to Section 8? They're like, you got to walk all the way around that way. I'm like, okay. Like all the way around the building? They're like, yeah, all the way. I'm like, okay. I start walking and then the other side's blocked off. I'm like, how do I get to Section 8? They're like, you got to go all the way that way. I was like, they told me I had to come all the way this way. They're like, are you an athlete? I was like, yeah. They're like, oh, you can't go see him. I was like, you're not going to let me see my mom? They're like, I'm sorry.
I heard they're doing that in NCAAs and the Olympic trials too. They're putting people basically like in a bubble.
Man.
I was trying to get up there, but security was tight. They weren't going.
Now, are they all going to St. Louis?
My mom's not. Okay. My sister's playing in the Idaho All-Star high school basketball game.
Oh, dang. We got a lot of athletes then.
Athletic family.
Yeah.
So she's playing in that. So my mom's going to stay there with her, and my dad, my high school and club coaches are going to come out.
Sweet.
All right. So if you want to take this time to promote your TikTok, you can do that if you want.
Oh, yeah. My TikTok is just Ridge Lovett. And we're lit. We
are you dancing on there? I haven't checked out TikTok.
I don't have TikTok either. I was just told about it.
I've done a couple dances.
Well, I got like blasted on Twitter yesterday because I was bored.
Corvette.
What's that?
Corvette. It's a dance. All right, go ahead.
I don't know what that is. Dude, I'm in my 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I put out a tweet yesterday basically saying, I'm curious who the all social team would be. Like most Twitter and Instagram followers at each weight. So I put it out. Nobody's done anything like that before. I'm like, nobody can really say too much because of the fact that it's never been done before. Well, within minutes, of course, I'm told I'm wrong. And I was told Chase Salday at Michigan State has like 350,000 followers on TikTok.
He went viral early. He's had a bunch of followers for a while. I follow him on TikTok.
Does he dance? What does he do?
I've never looking at my following page. I'm always on the For You page, so I never see. I never see his.
Well, Chase is. I just started following him on Twitter because when I went to see when somebody said, "Damn, Chase got snubbed," I'm like, "What? Did I miss him?" And I'm like, "He's only got 1,700 Twitter followers." Then they're like, "No,
Twitter followers isn't a thing, dude."
Then he's got 345,000 TikTok and 14,000 on YouTube, and his Twitter name is Chase the Candyman Salday. I don't know
what's that. What does that mean?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to check his TikTok out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look at that. That's wild.
Do you create TikTok wrestling content?
I've made like 2 videos. I did one when we were traveling. It was just I plan to. I'm like, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do a day in the life. I'm gonna go through it all. And I wake up and I'm like, no shot.
You're like, I'm gonna do me today and not promote any of it. We actually 1 year at Nationals, I think it might have been Cleveland. Like the Penn State Barstool account like messaged a few of us, like me, Bo, and like whoever, like, hey, you guys want to take it over for the weekend? We're like, oh yeah, for sure. And then apparently like, like not like compliance, but some people, some of our media people found out and they just shut that down so hard. They were like, absolutely not. So
do they just tell you can't do it, or do they advise you that you shouldn't?
It was a strong suggestion that we shouldn't do it.
I would have loved that. I would have been here for that.
Oh yeah, it would have been great, but got to focus on the wrestling too, though. It's kind of hard to do both. Hey, look at your boy. He just popped up my Instagram.
Mikey Labs, baby.
He's looking good too, bro.
He is. He was wrestling tough.
He's a good seed. I like where he's at in the bracket. I mean, it's not like a great seed, but I just like his draw. I think he's gonna make some noise, man. I really do.
And Nebraska finished 3rd at Big Tens, right? You guys thinking team race for NCAAs? How important is that to you?
Super important. Our team is super tough. If everybody just does their job, wrestles good, I don't see why we're not bringing home a trophy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been watching you guys, throughout the year and at Big Tens, and I agree. You guys are always tough. I mean, you guys have talent every year. You guys wrestle hard, and I think you guys definitely, you bring your A game, you'll get a trophy.
That's the plan.
After your Big Ten performance, which didn't end the way you wanted, but it was an incredible tournament, what are you looking forward to the most about NCAAs?
Same thing, really. After my first match, during my cool down, Manning came over and talked to me. I was like, I don't see why I'm not gonna win this. I was like, I think I'm the best kid here in my weight for sure. Mm-hmm. It's like, so I wasn't starstruck or anything, and it's gonna be the same thing in NCAAs. I don't think any of those kids are that much better than me at all, and I expect myself to be in the mix for a title, not even just AA, but I expect to win.
Yeah, I like that attitude a lot. And even in your match with Sasso, you said the score was 5-2. It wasn't 5-2. It didn't look like a 5-2 match to me.
No, it's a deceptive score for sure.
Yeah, like it was, those are like reversals. Like that's really it. I don't know. Have you game planned with that at all? Just like, thought really, I mean, you don't have to give strategy or anything like that, but just like things you're working on really.
No, that's just closing out periods. I gave up a takedown with like a couple seconds left, and then the reversal was with like 20 or something. That's just closing out periods. Then getting off bottom. I don't know. I don't know what was going on with me right there. I just couldn't get up. Sasso's strong too. I was expecting him to be that strong, but We'll be okay. We're past that.
He looks it, man. He does look it. Yeah, it's over with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just said that he already took top for his match against Andrew Aliras, who's going to be in the pigtail, likely win, and then him and Sammy Sasso first round.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so crazy that all you Big Ten guys are in the top half. And then it's like only one of you comes out of that. And then, Austin O'Connor's in the bottom side, Brock's in the bottom. Like, it's a crazy way. But I love the energy. I love the mindset that, like you said, and you could tell going into it. One of Cenzo's comments to me over the weekend was, man, he's just having fun, which is what Cenzo did. Like, he's going for it. He's going for the throws. He's rolling with the punches. He's not like going back to taking it too seriously. Like, you're having fun. Every time any of my clients or friends win big things, world medals, Olympic medals, I remember when Burroughs won in 2012 and Carly Lloyd, soccer player, a client of mine, both of them, when they walked out into the arena, were smiling. I'm like, they're winning. Like, I just got a feeling they're winning. Not to say if you smile, you're going to win, but it was just like a general vibe. Like, if you're having fun, they're always better. And for somebody at a top caliber of talent, if you're at a top caliber talent and you're having fun and you're not striving, it seems to be a good recipe. I love that attitude. And I think, you knock off Max Murrin, the 2 seed. You beat Blockhouse in a good overtime match. I'm here for it.
I'm here for it too, man. And like, you show that, you can do the throws, but you can win the gritty matches too. And that's super important. You got to be able to do both.
Mm-hmm. I feel that for sure. I feel good everywhere. On my feet, I don't feel like I'm just out there ready to get taken down. I don't always get to my offense that great. I'm not worried. I don't think anyone's just going to take me down. Like, DeSanto didn't take me down.
Right.
I think he took me down once, maybe twice in the duel, and he didn't take me down to Big Tens. And he's one of the best neutral wrestlers in the country.
For sure. Yeah.
So it's like I'm totally confident in my neutral abilities, hold my own, and top and bottom, I'm not worried about nothing.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you said just finishing out a match, because any match I've seen that you didn't win, like I'm thinking about the RBY match last year at the duel. That was super close until like the last few seconds. Like, that was I think that match was decided with like 20 seconds to go or something. So like,
I was down by 2 and he was in on a leg. And I was like, well, I'm just going to try to defend it. And I like went back into it. And he was so fast to that cradle. His hand
he's quick,
so
man.
fast.
I remember that. Yeah.
I was like, oh, damn. Okay, here we go.
I will say that I was rooting against you that match, but that might have been the last time, bro. I think
same. That was the last time I rooted against
you. Earned some fans, dude. Yeah, but what was I gonna say? This is totally random, but like, do you guys, like, freshman wise, do you guys have anyone in right now that looking forward to next year? Anything like that?
Serrano for sure. Silas, Allred. Haas has been wrestling tough. He stepped in for Benzie a couple times and he was winning. He's winning Big Ten matches as a true freshman. Love to see that. Mm-hmm. Serrano hasn't gone out there yet, but he's been in the room scrapping with Thompson and Tucker. Jeremiah Reno at 125. He's tough. Our whole freshman class, really.
Yeah, that's good. You guys got a lot of tough guys there. That's what's up.
Yeah, it's a tough lineup, man. Like I said on Twitter, a couple days ago, and I'll say it here, I'm definitely rooting for you. I know Cenzo's rooting for you. Cenzo, any final words before we let him go?
No, man, wrestling style, I love it. Just like you've been doing, man, have fun with it. We're gonna watch you. Everyone listening to this is gonna be watching you. And we had Shane Sparks on last week, and you were his guy to watch for the Big Ten tournament on the podcast.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So we had Shane on last week, and we were talking about who we were very excited for, like who's gonna have a big tournament. And his first guy was Ridge Lovett. I'm ready for Ridge Lovett to pop off. So
you hear that constantly too. I want to say Ben Askren made a comment a couple of weeks ago. Like, you guys are gonna laugh at me for this, but Rich is in the finals of Big Tens, and now nobody's laughing. Like, nobody's like.
Virtual NCAAs on Twitter put me in the files with Sasso too. Those are my boys. Virtual NCAAs.
Did you really?
I like virtual NCAAs too. I actually just started following
last year after it got canceled. I was all bummed out in my room, like, dang, it was like 3 days out, 4 days out or whatever. My weight was good. And then I'm just in my dorm. They're like, yeah, no, we're not going. So I looked on there and they were going. So I was tweeting back at them. We had a great time. That was so much fun.
Yeah, I don't know who runs that account, but they like the podcast and they give me crap back when they disagree with something, which I like, because I don't like if someone's only like all positive. Like, if you disagree with something, tell me. I'm not gonna like unfollow you.
I will say, when they did the virtual NCAAs last year, and they went through it, and like they like tagged me, and it was like I got so sad. I was like, this sucks. I was like depressed. I was like, I can't look at this.
There was a lot of people
it hurt big time. But like, looking back on it, I appreciate it now, and I think it's cool that they did that. But
yeah, it was fun.
Well, you're getting all these new fans after NCAAs. Do you have a plan for Last Chance or Olympic trials or anything, or do you not know anything yet?
I don't know anything. I'm for sure gonna get on the boat this summer and go wakeboarding, wake surfing, that stuff. Right now, that's it. I don't know wrestling wise.
That's good. I did that once. I couldn't really get up. I got up like twice, I think, and then I fell immediately. I posted a video on my Instagram if anyone wants to go check it out.
Was it a camp in Utah?
It was a camp in Utah.
I remember that.
It was at Sanderson Wrestling Academy.
Yep, I remember that. Well, that's good TikTok content.
I know. So if you ever need someone to partner with on TikToks to wipe out on the wakeboard, I'm your guy.
Well, don't they do partner dances on TikTok or like duos or something like that?
No, I'm not. I'm out on that. I'm out on that.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, we're rooting for you. Thank you for coming on and making some time. I know it's a chaotic couple of weeks, so we appreciate you coming on. We're definitely rooting for you, man. Awesome, man. We'll see you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yo.
So we just had one exciting guy from Big Ten's on, Rich Lovett.
Who was it?
Rich Lovett.
Okay.
He's so fun. And now we're taking the excitement level up even more. Like, now it's like, that was fun. Now it's, dude, you were, I think, the talk of the Big Tens. Like, that was what right away everybody's talking about. I know from you coming on the podcast, and I tweeted it back out, like, you wanted that Mason Paris match, and you got it. And like a minute to go, you're like, come on, bring it. Were you thinking about that tweet with a minute to go?
I looked at the tweet before I went out. Actually, I remembered it for a long time now, and I was saving it for a while, especially since like we brought it up back on the last podcast. And I think there was just, the time was coming, and I told you guys the time was gonna get near there, and there was the right time to showcase my inner heel side in me. So it was a perfect time.
Yeah, man, I loved it. But now, your beard, is that like natural? Does it pop like that naturally, or do you put something in it?
Hold on. Stop yelling. On the phone, stop yelling. Stop yelling at home there.
The life of an NCAA athlete.
Girl.
Yelling. All that yelling. No, the beard grows like this, like regular. Like, I don't do nothing to it. All I do is just get it lined up. It's crazy to me too. Like, it flushes me in perfect. I think it
pops, dude. Looks good, man.
Was that a heel move? Was the heel move like, let me grow a beard? This is heel Gable. By the way, somebody tweeted to me like, because I tweeted a couple months ago, like, who's the face and who's the heel in wrestling? And after this weekend, someone's like, so Spencer's the face and Gable's the heel. And I'm like, I don't know, because Gable's getting so many people entertained and so many more people are loving it. I don't know if you could say you're the heel because you're winning. It's not like you're calling people out or doing something or ducking people. You're going out there, you're facing everybody and winning. Like, would you consider yourself the bad guy or the heel?
I don't really want to be the bad guy. I don't really want to be the villain, but I like to have the tendency to have like the showmanship mid-match. And I think it brings just a different crowd to the sport of wrestling too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people that follow me are like younger kids that are trying to get into wrestling, and they show all their friends the videos, and it's crazy. Like, I'll do one thing, like just like bring it here, and kids go crazy. And
I go crazy. I'm 34 years old.
It's just like, I don't know. It's just like how I've been forever. I don't like the villain. I don't like the bad guy.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think
I like talking. I like talking and bringing a lot of people to the matchups. But at the end of the day, it's just I don't think I'm a bad person in any way. I just just talk my own way to gain exposure for all of us.
Yeah, man. And like you help not just yourself by doing that, but the sport in general, you know, and you look like you're just being you out there and you're having fun with it. And you're like, yo, come on, bro, let's get it. Like, that's pretty much it. Like,
and not for nothing, your following went from 150 to 151,000 followers over the weekend. You know,
that went from like 148.
Really?
Yeah, it went up like 3,000 like a week.
I saw
like, and like not even a week, like 2 days.
Yeah, I saw it Sunday. It was like 150, and today I'm like it's 151.
151.
Biggest audience in college wrestling. That's wild. And you know, so I have media access for NCAAs, and even though it's all virtual, which kind of stinks, but I saw you're doing a virtual press conference tomorrow. Yes. And I was thinking about hopping in. And what I wanted to ask you to kind of tee up the question, which I'll ask now, is, you know, you wanted that match with Mason Parris, and you didn't just want it, like you made a statement, like you majored him. Like everybody was tweeting after, like everybody from Ben Askren to you name it, like, dude, he just majored like the junior world champ from 2019, majored him. When you do that, what's your mindset going into NCAAs now?
My mindset going to NCAAs is probably the same mindset. I talked to my dad about it right after I got off the mat. And I called him in before he went to Big Tens. He was like, in order for you to win the Hodge Trophy or even be close, you would have to major Mason Parris. Yeah. And I told him, I was like, the time's going to come. Let's just wait. I was like, if I win, I win, which I always knew I would win against him. But he was like, if you put a major, your name would be in the same category as Spencer Lee. Officially, all the doubters, all the people who believed in I could be right there, like, are actually jumping on the train. And so my focus going into the NCAA tournament is I got tech for everybody. It's legitimate. It's very legitimate. I can do it, and it's.
Why don't you pin some guys? Why you got to tech fall everybody?
I just like tech fall. I do. I'm not good at pinning. I'm not good at pinning. Like, I don't know how. Like Bo back in the day would pin everybody. I don't know how.
So I actually said this today. I think about 80% of Bo's pins were Bo pinning the guy, and 20% of Bo's pins were the person wanting no part of Bo Nickel. Like they already knew they were getting pinned before the match started.
I don't know how you especially, like, you guys would do it. And I like go on the mat and I'm like, I'll be up like 10-1 in the first period. And I'm like, okay. And Eggum looks at me like, let's try to get the fall. And I'm like, all right, I can run a bar, but I can't fold over a 270-pound dude. Like, it's hard.
Well, you were cradling guys and stuff, you know.
Yeah,
we could slap some cradles on, things like that.
I need to get one.
And I had said too, and I think Cenzo and I just said this 20 minutes ago before you hopped on, like, looking at the bracket, I mean, you could have a quarter with Kirk Foley, a semi with Colton Schultz or Tony Cassiope, and a final of Mason Parris. Like, Spencer Lee, absolutely incredible wrestler, and it's not his fault at all, but his competition isn't what yours is this year. Like, and I told Cenzo, and I tweeted it out, like, if you walk through this bracket like you've been doing all year, there's nobody who cannot make the argument that the Hodge Trophy is yours. Is that your mindset, NCAAs? Like, this is strictly about, you've obviously already beat all these guys. You've won Big Tens. You're undefeated. You beat Mason Parris, who you're likely going to have in the finals. Like, is that the mindset, is I want the Hodge?
Yeah, that's been the mindset since I stepped on the mat my first match. I think, but right now it's looking really, really realistic. I think those are going to be great competitors, and I think we'll see who makes it to the quarters. I mean, Jordan was a great wrestler too. Yes. Cassiope's in the mix, and he's I don't think he's lost to anyone besides me and Michigan. So, I mean, my mindset going in is just dominate. I just got a bad tendency of, like, I want to kill somebody on the wrestling mat, and it's like that's how, like, we grew up wrestling. We just wanted to break you in front of everybody, and I think I'm gonna have to re-put it on display right now and just wrestle my match and wrestle as hard as I can.
This is a question, like, for me personally. How did it feel wrestling at Big Tens without fans there, like in a tournament setting, like with, you know, kind of like an empty arena?
It was actually nice. There was no favoritism. It was you and the other guy on the mat. Besides all the family that was there, right. It was actually nice to hear your own self like wrestling, and you can hear your coaches talking. There's not 10,000 people booing you if you do something garbage. Or
see, I love that though, dude. Like
it was really nice. Like, it was perfect.
Interesting.
The Penn State blue mats topped it off too. It was just wow.
Yeah, we brought those in. Those were all brand new.
Perfect mats.
We worked hard. The NLWC worked hard to make sure that those mats were good. They were a little too soft, I want to say, but they were a little too soft. What can you do about
beautiful
it?
Mats. I love the
blue. By the way, I appreciate it, man.
Speaking of mats, after watching the Mateo Pelicone this weekend, I always want to ask somebody this. Those international mats feel like a tarp, not a wrestling mat. Are they extremely different?
They're just like wrinkly. Like, they're literally just like a tarp on a cushion on a hardwood floor.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's nothing special. The
Does
mats
it feel different wrestling on them?
Yeah, it's just the way it hits and the way you land just sounds different, but it feels the same.
Makes sense. So Cenzo asked Lovett this question, and I'll ask you this question. I'll steal it from him. Aside from yourself, who for Minnesota are you most excited for in NCAAs next week?
First from Minnesota, I'm excited to see is probably Braden Lee. I think Braden Lee can put some points on the board and make it really far in the tournament. Well, once 157 the hard weight with Ryan Deacon, especially in Hayden Hidlay. But I think Brayton has shown that he is a top 3 contender, top 4. And I think if he can open it up really right away and just give 7 minutes a hard on the gas tank, I think he can come out on top of a lot of these matches.
I think so too. I watch him, and he's one of those guys where if he's pushing the action, he can be very, very good. He can score a lot of points.
So, of course, yes.
Yeah.
It's funny too that you mentioned not pinning people. It's kind of funny because it seems like you see right now the guys who are focused on the Olympic trials too, that are kind of keeping it more freestyle centric on the folk style mat. Like, you're getting a ton of takedowns. You're taking someone down, you're kind of letting them up, and you're toying them, letting them down again. Have you been practicing at all, focusing on freestyle, or is it right now just 100%? I want to dominate folk style, and that's that.
I think right now it's 100% dominating folk style. Yeah. Riding guys on top is the key for me right now. Getting that first takedown and getting that minute of riding time is the key, guys. If you get that first minute of riding time, guys I've seen a lot of guys I wrestled have shattered first period, and just like your arms get gassed. But I think the transition to freestyle is not very tough. Besides getting gut wrench, you just got to maintain wrestling on your feet and basic defense. But right now it's 100% folk style.
That makes sense. What would you prefer to do to somebody, a gut wrench or a half? If you want to bar someone,
after boring.
I'm gonna go gut wrench too. Like a half.
Freestyle is
like a half Nelson, like a camper half, like the little kids that come in for camp and they throw power halves in.
Yeah, you see Spencer do it and just power somebody, and it looks fun.
So you got to understand that there's 2 people that could do what Spencer does on top, with that bar half, and that's him and Logan Steber, and that's about it, ever.
Why is that?
Literally,
I don't know. I have no idea.
I only watched 2 matches of the Big Ten finals, and it was Roman, just because me and Roman are really good friends. Mm-hmm. And Spencer, I just watched Spencer, and I'm just wow, I don't understand how that happens.
No, and it's he gets taken down and Twitter explodes. Gets
Literally,
taken down, and Twitter's oh, Spencer got taken down. I'm and then he texts him, and still he just won 21-3. Yeah, but he got taken down.
Yeah. Terry Brands is screaming. Spencer's up by 300 points. Terry Brands is calling everyone a cheater.
Video? Any shot you saw the video?
I didn't see it.
There's a video on Twitter of Brands, and you can hear him for 30 seconds. It's just a 30-second video of things he's yelling to one of the other team's coaches. You're a cheater. You're a politician. You don't want to wrestle. It's one of the funniest.
They don't like hard wrestling. No one likes hard wrestling. Iowa likes hard wrestling.
They love it.
They love it. They really do.
They love it.
Yeah, man.
But I think going off of the Spencer getting taken down and how Twitter blew up, it just shows the the impact and popularity that he has. If you can take him down, it's like a massive deal. Like if you can say if someone beats Spencer, that wrestler will be famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Famous in the sport of wrestling for about a cool few weeks, probably a few months.
Yeah.
And
Till next year.
Until Spencer
Right.
comes back. But like if a lot of the wrestlers beat some of these people, like a lot of us are verified on Instagram, had a lot of followers. And if one of us loses, Flow Wrestling's gonna gas it up, and that wrestler will turn from nobody to he can be on the Olympic team in about 5 minutes.
Right. Yeah. And even after that, and so say Spencer loses. I mean, just say
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, just say for the sake of this conversation.
For the sake of a conversation.
For the sake of the conversation, Spencer goes down. That guy's famous for, like you said, a few weeks, maybe even till next year. But Spencer's still Spencer after that. You know what I mean? He doesn't go down to like he's not as good anymore. No, he's still Spencer Lee. Like,
but the thing is, like, just the way Twitter and the world works nowadays, like people try to create such narratives on us. Like if you do get taken down, like, he can exploit him in every position. And it's just like, then you got to go through, I hate going through my Twitter. The amount of like BS that people will say to me on Twitter is is wow. And like, especially before like the Big Ten, it was just like, cause they would just send me like a bunch of garbage messages. My mentions would just be people like, he's trash, he's cocky, he's this. But like you guys, obviously people don't know me outside of wrestling. They just see like the impression I put on a map. But like a lot of people that see me like in real life would never say nothing like that. And it's just like people make burner accounts just to hate on us. And it's like, it's weird that like 50-year-old dudes with their kids like this smiling are like, yeah, this kid's a bum. But
yeah.
Just how it goes.
It is how it goes, man. It really is.
Yeah.
And they call you a bum, then they, send their kid to a camp where you're teaching. Yeah. Where you're teaching all the technique and they pay a bunch of money for it. So
literally.
And going back to the comment about somebody beating Spencer, I think a good example of that is Nick Marable beating Jordan Burroughs.
Yeah.
Into his streak of 69-0, Nick wins. And within a couple weeks, maybe a month, nobody talks about Nick. Nobody talks about that match. The conversation is what Jordan's accolades are. If somebody were to say Nick Marable right now, you would think, maybe the Jordan Burroughs match. But it's because of, like you said, it's Jordan Burroughs' presence that elevated that conversation. And that's what's happening now. So yeah, it's interesting, man. Last time you were on the podcast, you said your intent was to come through, win everything, win a Big Ten, win an NCAA, win an Olympic title, go WWE. That's still the intent?
You had to mention the last one. You had to mention the last one.
I didn't even hear what I said.
Yeah, he mentioned. Yeah, he mentioned it.
I know he mentioned it. Like I said, if life looks great, then you gotta take the best what you can take. But I don't know. But we're gonna take it 1 week at a time. Next week is the week to win. I see myself doing great numbers at the NCAA tournament, Tech Falls. We need pins most definitely, but I see myself running through this bracket really and putting on a highlight show for ESPN and the world to see, no matter who gets put out in front of me. And the Olympic trials too. I know Olympic trials are gonna be tough. Gwiz is gonna come with a whole new special game plan, and all respects to him. Of course, he's the first legendary heavyweight that I really like watched, and so it's gonna be great. I'm grateful to wrestle against him again, but WWE. Time will come.
Dude, I just look at was that the last one I brought up?
Yeah, that was.
I like how you act like you don't know.
Yeah. I honestly don't even remember. I just like talk and then I'm like,
WWE was definitely last. Yeah.
So
yeah, it was.
But I'll be honest. The reason I think I bring it up is because you're like the fact that Paul Heyman, like I'm a WWE guy. I grew up watching pro wrestling. The fact that Paul Heyman will like take a post of you winning a Big Ten championship and sharing it, or even like the #1 seed. Like he's posting out like Gable's the #1 seed. Would you expect anything different? He's a Paul Heyman guy. Like that would rev me up like nothing else. I mean, that's why I think it's so relevant.
No, it's what he does with like the social media stuff and like hosting like the champs like Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Like he does a lot of great things and boost people's social status a lot. Like you see what he does with Roman Reigns right now, and just how he created Roman and elevated him onto a new level. But I think Paul's a good dude. He shows me a lot of love. Like I think he believes that I can be the next solidified thing and the next big money prize man, which I hope I can be. But WWE's fun, but I think my ultimate goal is to get there. Then I want to go into some movies.
Really?
Yeah, like I said, I love The Rock, and so the movie scene is my like ultimate hit goal.
That'd be cool, man.
Cool.
That'd be very cool.
That's really cool.
Not like no fighting, nothing like that.
I think I would have to fight people just for the sake of me and people saying like, oh, can he fight? He used to wrestle back in the day. You know how it goes. It's just another door that opens. But I think for my headspace right now, I want to go into the WWE and get into the movies and end up like The Rock.
Hey, that's not
yeah, it's not a bad. He's on
that's
like
not a
every
bad
magazine cover ever.
It's not a bad idea either.
Not a bad
but I do want to fight.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of when I would fight and who against who. But I want to put on the gloves one time.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, I know Ben Askren's always down to throw on the gloves one time. So like take on one of the Paul brothers too.
Yeah.
Never know.
Why not?
Why don't you fight?
It doesn't even have
fight
to
the other
be
Paul
against a
brother.
fighter. Oh yeah, I should.
Yeah.
I
Something
mean,
like that.
But you don't even have to fight a UFC fighter. People are just fighting anybody nowadays.
They care about the storyline. That's why Ben Askren and Jake Paul is so big right now. It's the storyline. You're either rooting against Jake Paul or you're rooting to see if he can beat someone. Like it's wild. And speaking of storylines, a couple weeks ago, I think it was on Twitter, Jacob Kasper said he was thinking about going to the Olympic trials. Have you talked to him at all? He's obviously in NXT right now. He's training WWE. Like, have you talked to him at all?
I've not talked to him at all, but I know he's in close contact with Briscoe.
Yep.
And Briscoe is another one of the guys that like looks down on me and checks in on me. And I mean, all good things. I think Casper's doing his job over there, and hopefully he can start getting put in the ring soon. I haven't seen him in a match yet, but I've seen him like on the outside.
Yeah.
And I think they're trying to build him in at the right time. And so I think he has the body for it. He has the look. He looks like John Cena, to be honest.
He kind of does, right?
He looks like John Cena, like perfect. And I think he's gonna step on the scene and get big really soon, I think. But I haven't talked to him about it. But if he does show up to Olympic trials, I want him first match.
That would be the ultimate storyline. I think the way that WWE could recall that would just be awesome. And Jerry Briscoe's an amazing guy. I had him on this podcast about a year ago, and he came on and he was telling me stories. And I remember getting off the podcast and telling my wife, like, I can't believe I just got to do that. Like, I grew up watching the Montreal Screwjob and all the things when he was on the WWE. And now to talk to him about that, like, all right, what did Vince tell you here and there? Like, that was surreal. And you could tell, like, he kept going back to the NCAA guys. Like, we're talking WWE, and he kept going back to how exciting guys like you are and how these guys coming up right now, like, the fact that you and Casper and others can do backflips is just stupid. Like, I weigh 215 and I think about it and I'm just like,
yeah, no, I've never attempted a backflip ever.
Damn.
I'm like,
how did you ever start doing a backflip?
I did one when I was younger in the living room. And
just randomly?
I flipped one day and I landed in the living room. I was a big little kid back in the day. The living room floor might have collapsed a little bit, but so I think I remember my mom sent me outside and I was in the grass and I was like, come watch me do a flip. So I did a flip and I back handspringed it. And the rest from there, I was banned up 90 plus. So like when I was probably like 100 pounds of like 7, 8, just flipping.
I still
and then everything's been stuck.
After you won the last state championship in high school, I still see that video circulating, going viral from random places.
It's crazy. I think that video kind of took who Gable was and kind of pushed it into a new area of wrestling. And so the real Gable era that entered into college.
Yeah, and we just gave Rich the opportunity to plug your TikTok. Are you still on TikTok?
I'm still on TikTok, but not really. I normally just post like wrestling highlights, but here and there, me and my homies would do a dance video. But other than that, not really.
Cenzo, what's the one you said?
Oh, I said Corvette.
Do you know what the Corvette is?
Oh yeah.
No, hey, that was.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, that was the one that Juju Smith-Schuster got hated on for. If you were wondering.
Yeah, because he would
dance
was
with the
going
center
crazy.
field. Yeah, people went crazy.
Yeah.
They would mess him up like Corvette. You know, I just thought it was funny.
Yeah,
Fact.
I've never heard about a Corvette. All right, Gable. Well, we're super excited. I don't know. You're waiting 141 next week, and NCAAs is just going to be stupid. I think they're the two weights to watch. I think they're the entire tournament is amazing, but I think those are two of the weights that people are going to leave. Really talking about final words for next week, NCAAs. Your thoughts?
My final words would probably be I'm just ready to win. Whoever gets put out in front of me, I got a good 7-minute gas tank now that you're gonna have to handle. But I mean, I'm looking forward to rematches. I'm looking forward to everything. I think I'm gonna take care of my business and try to get that Hodge Trophy.
Like it.
I love it. All right, guys.
I love it. You love it. We all love it.
Yeah, we all love it.
Love it.
If you're, I don't know if anybody listening doesn't follow Gable yet, because like we said, 151,000 strong in the Gable Army on Instagram. But follow him on Instagram, Twitter. Follow Cenzo. Follow me if you want. There's gonna be great guests. That's it for BASCHAMANIA 106. Guys, thank you. Talk soon.
Later.
See ya.
Yeah.
And that is it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. If you did enjoy this episode of the podcast, be sure to leave a 5-star rating review on Apple Podcasts and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on more episodes. For more wrestling content, be sure to follow BASCHAMANIA on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And follow me. I'm at JBash on Instagram and at JustinJBash on Twitter.
And the beat goes on.